culture! I'm a little late to this topic, I know that it's not new. I didn't know if I was going to have anything to add to the conversation, but in the past week the flames have been fanned by Miss Molly May Hague. And the neural pathways inside my mind started lighting up and linking together, the gears started turning, the walls turned into code. And I thought, okay, it's time. It's time to talk about why Molly May is right and wrong. And it's time to talk about why calling her out is right and wrong. It's time for Gaslight Gatekeep Girlboss. Molly May Hague was a contestant on Love Island a few years ago. I watched that season because I like to be part of the zeitgeist, and Love Island was all the rage at one point. And live, laugh, chug, am I right? She coupled up with Tommy Fury, the little brother of Tyson Fury. They did not win Love Island, but they are still a couple at the time of recording this. Let's hope this ages well. If anything, at least she is making Love Island look as if you found love there. It's well known that people go on Love Island because it's good for your career as an influencer. Not many people find love on the show, and in fact, according to Wikipedia, Molly May went on the show to further her career. On leaving the villa, most contestants will book appearances at clubs, they'll gather a large following that they can sell stuff to, and they often become brand ambassadors. And Molly May did just that, becoming a brand ambassador for Pretty Little Thing for a cool £500,000. If you don't know, Pretty Little Thing is a fast fashion brand that sells cheap, low quality women's clothing. And if you read that as shade, then your mind is giving me the villain edit. In August 2021, Molly May was appointed creative director of Pretty Little Thing. Then in December 2021, Molly May appeared as a guest on Stephen Bartlett's The Diary of a CEO podcast. And this is why she's being roasted right now. I'm really pushing fire metaphors today. In the interview, she suggested that those less fortunate than her only had themselves to blame for their lack of financial security, stating that we all have the same 24 hours in a day. This is the clip people are mad about.
So just do it! Make your dreams come true!
Oops, sorry, that's the wrong clip of a celebrity saying you can just make your dreams happen. It's this one.
You're given one life and it's down to you what you do with it. Like, you can literally go in any direction. And when I've spoken about that before in the past, I have been slammed a little bit with people saying, like, it's easy for you to say that, you've grown up and you've not grown up in poverty. You've not grown up, with major money struggles. So for you to sit there and say that we all have the same 24 hours in a day, it's not correct. And I'm like, but technically what I'm saying is correct. We do. So I understand that obviously we all have different backgrounds and we're all raised in different ways and we do have different financial situations. But I think if you want something enough, you can achieve it. And it just depends to what lengths you want to go to get where you want to be in the future.
People are mad at her, like personally mad. And I get it. Molly May was born into a middle-class family, and that allowed her to never worry about putting food on the table or having a roof over her head. She was crowned Miss Teen Hertfordshire in 2015 and World Teen Supermodel UK in 2016. Achieving these heights based on conventional beauty standards, something that not everyone is born with, will have helped her get a place on Love Island, because Love Island tends to cast people that look a certain way. From there, she amassed her following, became the ambassador for Pretty Little Thing, and is now the creative director. So what Molly fails to realise is we don't all have the same 24 hours in a day. Some of us are vampires and we sleep during the day. But in seriousness, every part of Molly May's journey is unique to her, and her journey is from a place of privilege. Now for a quick side note, I want to talk about the girl boss thing. Girl boss used to be this empowering term for a woman who was rising the ranks in her chosen profession. And honestly, 5 years ago, it was absolutely fine to say we all have the same amount of time in the day as Beyonce. But Beyonce has changed and so have we. The thing about girl bossing is it's the same as bossing. It's the same as exploiting the people at the bottom and screwing everyone over to get to the top. But because we were trying to fix the deficit of women in high-paid roles, we encouraged it. We saw it as positive. But we now recognise it for what it is, the same bullshit that men pulled for centuries. And hence, we now call it out with the chant of Gaslight Gatekeep Girlboss. And Molly May is a perfect example of this. She will gaslight, which, if you don't know, means sustaining a lie and twisting reality. Ugh. She'll tell you, you can do what I did. But we will not all win beauty pageants. If anything, she should know that, because there would have been umpteen other girls who didn't win that beauty pageant. We won't all get picked for Love Island, or even be in a position where we have so little responsibility that we can go to Love Island for 6 weeks. She will gatekeep, because there's only one creative director at Pretty Little Thing, I think. If there is another one, I understand why you're keeping your head down. But we can't all get to her position, because you couldn't have everyone in the company be a creative director and no one be a factory worker. The paycheck that comes with being creative director is only for a select few. And she will girl boss by continuing to pay low wages and sell cheap clothing in order to keep herself rich. So you can see why people are mad, but here's why people are wrong. Okay, hear me out. People are not wrong to point out the flaws in Molly-Mae's ideology, and they are allowed to be mad at her. But I'm not here for people making personal attacks on Molly-Mae's character. Does she need a bit of a reality check? Absolutely. Should she be having conversations with her workforce and striving to improve her company's ethics? Yes. But she's also human, and a 22-year-old human at that. According to science, her brain isn't even done growing yet. And I remember being 22 and feeling like I knew everything. And I didn't. I don't even know everything now, but I'm smart enough to listen and learn. I've seen videos of people imitating her, adding in dystopian lines, and comparing her to Margaret Thatcher. And don't get me wrong, I laughed. But my point is, don't hate the player, hate the game. There are at least 3 Love Island contestants and a presenter who are no longer alive because of online bullying. And we've all been getting angry at the show and the people who get swept up in the online bullying and cause this to happen. So why is it okay to pile all this on Molly-Mae? I was hoping that she'd be looking at the backlash of the interview and listening and learning, but the Evening Standard has reported that Molly-Mae stands by what she says in the interview. But maybe this is the video that will do it. Molly-Mae, if you're listening, then that's the first step. The next step is
realizing stuff.
I'd like to offer an alternative reality where the conversation around success is different. A successful 22-year-old walks into a podcast booth and the interviewer asks, "How did you become a creative director?" And she says, "Director? I hardly know her." And that is a lesson on taking opportunities. To be serious, in a very literal sense, we can't all be the creative director of Pretty Little Thing. We can, however, define our own success. I don't personally want to be the creative director of Pretty Little Thing, so it would be a waste for me to spend my 24 hours the same way Molly-Mae does. What I want requires me to work at my own goals in my own way, within the parameters that I have. I know there will be barriers that Molly-Mae doesn't have, and I know there will be barriers for other people that I don't have. Something that made me think about this recently actually was I was being interviewed by the lovely Jessie at 5th and Overland. Hello Jessie if you're watching. I was talking about how I quit my job to go freelance, and she asked me, "Do you have free healthcare?" And I was like, yeah, we pay for universal healthcare through our taxes, but even if you're not paying taxes, you can still use it. And she talked about how not having free healthcare is a reason why she wouldn't quit her job if she wanted to. And it was a privilege I didn't even realise I had. I then talked about how I'd never even had to make a decision about my healthcare. I have never been told, well, the cheapest way to fix your ailment is this, or you could pay more for this version, which is more successful. The doctor makes the call for me because no one is thinking about the cost, I think. This is where NHS workers will be in the comments like,
"Your antihistamines are placebos."
Anyway, the point is this is something I have never worried about. And it lets me live a bit more freely than if it wasn't there. So I can work on my goals in my way within the parameters that I have. They are not the same as everyone else's. I know that we largely see success as lots of money. Loads of people do. But let's shelf that for a moment. Let yourself feel successful for your personal achievements. Feel successful because you make an honest living. Feel successful because you have a loving family. Feel successful because you make people smile. And if you're in a place of abundance and your cup overfloweth with success, then make it your goal to help others. But don't look over the flowing gold mane of your high thoroughbred horse and say, "I'm more successful because I tried harder." It's just not true. Thanks for watching today. What are your 2 cents on the whole Molly May situation? And what makes you feel successful? I'd genuinely love to know. I really appreciate that you've made it all the way to the end. It's so humbling that you've made it here. That's how I measure success. People staying around. No abandonment issues here. Anyway, please share this video and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more of this cute face. See you next time.